ase chama wife minu ekuma chama wife ene mejo che no mu ne mejo dabo no ne owura Charles Boache no mu Eric no mu nyina ma mu nyina afihyiapa amema almighty consent so afihyiapa chama ta wusu nso mu afihyiapa ana fi brother man afihyiapa na agiman ma afihyiapa busuafo no doso kasa obubudin abebre na memra nkrankran so de ene antipina man eno batampa ono pe memo afihyiapa pa michia mu afihyiapa oba maso odin misima be fin so mema eye dan ameba na into de ka kuma to yem na fe antibi farok nso mu achia no pe mu afihyiapa anti akosi odomase loko sunyan na fe anti se wanyame na aye nso sunyan nso mu nyina afihyiapa busuafo no doso enti yebabo ne kakra akopim se afe no ebeso ankasa pa ena no pay ma memfa nchi akese ba ko ema Alhaji Ibrahim Mojo eye gurusifo hene a owo Greater Accra ha Alhaji anopa bi a wo bia no me moache makase nyakopo nhirawo no mo ahoden ene nkwatenten das papa sanso na menu akwabena si edu nso bi a wo bia no pay me moache ena no pay de amenya no ofie bedi nkomo eye onunyanfo Kofi Adams na Kofi Adams ono ebu amum na sebedwani edema Andy Samayuko no nukuri ya bribia besin kon kan man pay Jerry John Rawlings wona na ne boafo penin anaso wo ben na ono na bekasa papa je poma ana wona ne di akona ba bribia se de oyemra sebedwani edema amanfo a ewo buam abatompesia so ene yenya no ofie ha ebabo Mpu Ne Mpu ya hwe ne mekoso wo mra sebedwam abatu de ekoye de ekoso mra sebedwam minority and minority mo ye majority afi ekowi ase no o ma ba minority ehwanyan hunsan bebre ene duva hwami majority o manya so mo komra sebedwam 2025 no eno so ye be hwe ne ye de nkom ne hwe ne ma hodo ekoso mra sebedwam sisi budget na esom de ba say for 2025 bosome na edikan no ehun sama kokosi sen na ya hwe issues how do esom tackle omra sebedwam no ni nyina ye bedi hu enkomo ene anopai antie eno no ona ba kwa ba
ya mini ya mejoje
ye hu na acha fishiapa
afin kommetu ye
hu acha pa
afisese na nyama ahihye nyama ye nim se bibia eyeden ekoyie na yetiase ahoden wo ho eno na eyade a ye bompa ese ebeba se musumu frem eya muta frem those times mo ye mo Christmas program here make our more or more etaba minim ye isi enti a mo bombing say suspension say den
nipa no doso nipa no doso ntino ya na de wo back we bank kakra wo na asanto esi echiri
maybe ye binu na ya old kakra ntina mo pe
we beba no wasan
fresh blood
nti beba no wasan fresh won say na won so afre on telephone so na di nkomo prince amen kan show say ne phone no we register nti na mo ekunkuru eno so
okay nti o Ghana card
Ghana card
Ghana card register enti ono ne de no say osla no be catch say ye na ye nkonko register your number so that omo ye fake scammers na omo di nipa numbers ejiji sika say recruitment say ye say na ka ye bechi won afi de ababeda na ade aye koso daily omo jiji nkrofo sika uko report ma police so a ye momo omo be say ni number say tuasike igu sa number so na so ye ntumi nchi nipa no
nti se sa no kan na
fasobia maso
se say ni se sika wo mana
seriously so one area His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na ban was say omodi omoni eden ekosopa because here this kind of scamming na ekoso affect omo dijwa and now omo ye genuine activities was our platform no it was our platform
I see where ye back ballroom now so ye for we chance ansana yaba ora operation recover all loots ebinum ka say any legal backing bia and obetume gina so de ka say bia omo ye adwuma ye wo special prosecutor ho ye wo yoko ho ye wo and tina eno ebam na say ebinu kra say ye witch hunting so much that I deba betata mu opponent na sefo briefly then na ubeka fa oral you
well ma edika no ma minchia we for any omo ehwe especially me constituency or Buim constituency be mpeni for omo ehwe party no so ewo ho operation oral we see obi see a witch hunting
yes
well say beye bi wo ho say ye tu beye no enti beye tu de ehia enti say witch bi wo ho pa de na oko say oye niama enye a o say ye hwehwe sa witch no ye hunting no enti witch hunting no hey ade a ehia pa say e genuine beye but enu de men sorry nko nante say obi biara wa ye akokora na wa ye abrewa no oye involved in witchcraft inti okwa na agin enu na John Dramani Mahama president elect on pese ebesinti ena waye ni awaye because in this period no you say apotro owu a ena wo behu ne tintin abra na apotro no ye no we use all kinds of theories say we calculate the folding and the nine wa folding we calculate how we say this could be the estimated length of apotro no now so apotro nankasa wudia utumi hu the tintin yi so your information be to say over be to say cathedral project here mampinisi ye kwa akoye ye mfa woma ni ska emfa nkonkoye ewie ye no over $58 million na yedia oman sika na yedia akoche mu a ye hu hwe eno kra that is excluding nsase ne ye keka ho ye name of Sky Train $2 million ye name Pualugu multipurpose dam $11.9 million ye name Pullman Hotel $25 million investment ye name Muta Angela ye tio $2.57 million for ejuma yesi omaye ejuma wo motorway extension project na so omunye bibia ewo ho all these forms of payments ni yenim bebre so wo ho a yenim ebi wo ho a because party a ewa benu munti na nkrofo suru se enyama bi a ekoso ewo bone kwan no kura no ommeka whistleblowers so omu be blow whistler na omu adani nkrofo a avedi ye tata ho because ebi wo ho a dipa omko ka asem na kire no na oka omu di sa abone no kra enti experience a mampini dada we nya ene wa ba be president elect ni say information bebre na enenam ebi ba me ho ebi be ko wo ho ebi be ko obi fufuro so ebi kra be ko ono ankasa mampini kra ne ho but osan say emre eni honti ma minti beson kui na omoye den omontina ho na omo create platform omo be gigigi information si nyina ni o sa omoye further follow ups no omo be ye na yehu ni eye obi na o kakeke because we hu say oh mami ye nyini we nya 100 and something years say onye be ifo anka o nyini sa enti omo be hu the difference between ni oye beyi ankasa eni nia oye just nyankopon na waye den we shira na ma waye den we nyine kwa koduru bibia we dri so this group is collecting information enenam information bebre enenam say ye ka say ya to abewie contracts ye dey man crowfile bi wo kra the legal department of science institutions no kra no omunye den omunfo aso dan so ye force aye niama ebi wo ho aye force abadate contracts aye keka ho sa information ni na no is flying ebi wo ho aye sesa niama every maybe the state warehouse bi edi akọ private warehouse bi information all those informations no enenam framanum important say ye benya group bi a ombe den omo betie sansem no so we say omo ye follow up omo documenting some movements ni nyina say ye ECG warehouse na yakwa sisa meters ni cables ni yakeka ho every ECG warehouse e dey call obi ni private warehouse or say ye document sa movement no then you say ye the free warehouse A e dey call warehouse B at this time enti ochina mampeni no take over fully 7th January yes so no in year afi de oba be mampeni so oma orders a onimbe bia o say oma orders no okay munye further investigation e was aseme iniama e moving from ECG warehouse eko ha no then na eko ho wo ho na say ni ho a one no receive iniama no on that day one no one na mo wo sa warehouse ho iniama na wo receive ye no one na obe fa ye wo free ho no one na wo hand over e de maye nipa wo hand over e de man no ono so wo free ho no one na wo hand over e de man at what time did they collect the things from there say iniama no gusu wo ho so a ye de oman na yensa kayade.
I see.
So the oral team has a focused business omu ebabe and you just following on the big corruption ones now ye nim dada enu ye nim already and ebi wo ho even auditor general's report and the information by public accounts committee atena so aye hu ejuma ne hu report kra no eda parliament wo ho ye nim so that we don't have much problem with that but nia ye nim no fly around enu pa na ehia bampinu so that is what this oral team is going to do and you say omu prosecutorial powers and you say omu any other things that omu be beyond collecting gathering information na ebeboa aban when it takes full shape after 7th January 2025
na your money ye nisika ma ko sisa kuyi and also you want mo tues ka onye wo fuel sika e be mo office e be tuo mo car sitting allowance na tititi sa
well very clear already members no omo first meeting na omo ye no omo ka no clear say omo nji bibia em free on mine ho as in sitting allowances fuel and all those payments omo boa because bebre na already kura ansa na ye be friend won say omo mbe di sa adwuma yi na omo ade omo sika ni bibia yes ade no all of them look honorable Ablakwa is already officer of state or MP and to a large extent oji akitia or yes adwuma no already he receives some of this information he intercepts some of this information so it's just now a platform yedi amanu say ebeboa no domelovo oye ono akasa de ne resources then okasa of various platforms or DJ information lawyer Martin Kpebu ono de ne resources ediechi ni ama bebre bi okra okokot or the ono aniska file processes just to help or mine yebe kuitia proye any katasishe COP Nathan Kofi Boachi already oye yadia odinisika odinaho de ye then edisa de nechi so and Raymond Achaso Uchiana obeka kire wo investigations bebre awaye wo a wote he minim say ejuma na wo ye nti so oye then unya a lot of information and ye do wo koto ho is just a further giving you platform bia ebeboa wa de no wo ye already so enye dia ye kwa kotua hon ka na mo kwa kwaji allowances na fuel ka ebia ebeba against the state there be that my indication say they are doing everything pro bono also contribution towards proyene katashishe to say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Kai abra no ye mampini say proyene katashishe is mass murder enye just murder a mass murder e come nipa bebre at the same time because say economic corruption sika can maybe yedi be kwa akosi ayaresa bia nkrofo bebre benya ayaresa ewo ho no na obaako afa enti omo nya sa ayaresa no ewo nyanka na nkombe bia na nkombe nya ayaresa no wekum omo nyina say environmental corruption to say galamsey ni miade a ekosu ya ye say issue we say what the chemicals be kogu issue binum at one point you have destroyed a whole lot of water bodies ebe kum nipa bebree. So corruption is mass murder. Omano the right description. Enti idea o say yen nyina no ye kun itia. So me sre timemufo ene oman ni nyina say ye mboa this team yi ubia owo information bia ifa bibia no ene omode omo platforms no atutuja ubetumi aye den afre ho number no ye toll free wo free a ye nji wusika bia e wo so wo de na ne say wo time any wo battery na maybe ebeko lo wuntua say ye 30 minutes or 1 hour na wo de be share wo information na wo a ye nji wo kobo bia in that call na wo be omo toll free lines a be sure say as the program rules on maybe ye be ma etiefo aye den ehun those platforms are omone oral team yi betumi aye den edinkita ho very interactive ebeboa ye nyina ye mboa because ye nyina ye sika ye nyina ya japade ye nyina ye bibia ebeboa ye na mampini ne say there be for these long years of comfort tamnia eye o mine de ede omodie no o say eba iwiye moma ye mboa ye ho mo bia nkonko ye say oh e die oye minua oye mise enti me protect no there be nipa no nia wo ye no enyo no kwa na oyeye se metam o minus kakra mehia nkrofo bi beboa ansa na saade no metumi aye so we are aware of such information share with the oral team omo be gather more evidence now later from 7th January actions will be taken on all those things.
I see. I mean, we there and now we there because I know na say we are no now so I say wa ban mu wo party no mu now mo ba ban mu nti and I be so na say ti una nkasa nti onunyafo okuje to abla kwasa wo hwe na no pay a bomoden a na enchirichimu esafata bia na say to be ka ho bitumi aboye na afi yetumi de nkomo. What is going on in Parliament? Parliament is say
well, Parliament yeguso ye juma nia ha dwen kakra ne say MPP party any abanya omoko elections in Kugu eba omoafa no ade bia yaye in the past during transition from one party in government to another yaye no smoothly no afedi akwakoye to say twuma mamentwe eno na eya de ba ko a look in the year 2000 the NDC yedi Nkugu Professor Mills Kujinaya anko ye amano His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings ehweso ema the finance minister presenting Mr. Kwame Pepra presenting votes on account of what appropriation say because appropriation na ye no ebebe wie on the 31st of what December. Now, so for the first quarter, the first 3 months, aban fufu a ebeba no ebe taking some time and sana wetumi aye then aye the budget. Enti sana ye no at the end of every 4 year bia no ye first quarter budget so that you betumi tua aketua ne other vital services I always say ekoso for that 3 months. The same thing in 2008, MPP Nkugu under President Kufuor omo ye. In 2016 a sitting president call elections anko yi amano no wanka say ho anko yi nti me undermine system no o ma the finance minister say tekwe say ade MPP di Nkugu a vice president Baumie di Nkugu ewo 2024 elections from Monday a year every day sa issue ewo yen other papers so na so finance minister no emma the pepim ndra nyina no na ombaye ene na omosade no ka say nyame ni pa because ene yi the last day ye betina before maybe end of year because ene ye sorry a ye be san ba no ebe 3rd of what January and a year but for just some few activities for State of the Nation address from the outgoing president na yaye nyama bi kakra towards the dissolution of the 8th parliament. So enoni adie ba ko a parliament says otherwise ne de make say bibia ekoyie ewo parliament.
Now, would you say the Antina Aquaquest, I said the name said our Cayano, Yadi about to achieve at the transitions that she have a primo and a day. I feel the 4 years, and even if the same government ran a war by Mukonrado will take over from Onwane Hokrana, or yes, appropriation, you know. Now, Mr. Say, Sikani be named you ho, Antina, one more year, and now say, me Chimasuka, Miss Chimumuka Krana, what should she want the entire Kokobasa?
Well, surprisingly, no. When him say for judiciary, omo estimates na omo de command Mampini or say Mampini or forward by Parliament. Audit service also the same thing. In all the past budgets, ni amati tenu say ni omo de kono na wa review no ansana or the about including even Parliament the no so sa na wa review ansana omo de aba. But for this first quarter of 2025, the year Omodeko, he just wrote to us forwarding everything to Parliament. And he Yensaka judiciary, audit service, any Parliament there. But I can't near Onwan Kasanso say Oshena the finance minister. Oyema Akitua Ebeko Abaye Jumaye for any other services or say Yerenda. Muya na mwakwa koka say mu mancro for a friend saying sir dialysis from 1st January from 1st December mo yenu free
yeah
mo yenu free muntu akobo bomfa budget so mra ebema ihu bebia yebenya sika no edi etua sa services ne so momfa bi emma meanwhile you are committing and signing all kinds of contracts in even these last minute more party may lose elections clearly nka wo say boye you should be packing to leave now so omo much more interested in signing contracts than presenting a budget ebema even basic aketua kra no yebetumi aye ho adwuma so minim nipa opese ochu naso say workers now want to ama ho now ochu omo aso ana the incoming administration well so omo ameya 7th January after the swearing in one of the first item a buying for fruna ebano ebeye but I do pray say nya omuka say ene or the bebano or the beba na waba ababele but as for say sikani bi na anyone there sikani there omo say bibia there's really no money in the system and that explains why people are complaining energy sector debts a car in that Hong Kong over 2.5 billion. No monka no kreno enchre. Since ya information actually say eba since yet to abayi His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Mpenifo bibria omo akone hono. Omo de abayi no who complains na omo ye den omo de ko including even ambassadors and high commissioners. American ambassador ko hono omo say America companies are omuni o mine edin kita ho eye juma bebre no ye de hon ka intua ho Canada Mercinia ono so wa ha ono so ko nura no so the same complaint na o de ko ye so enye just Ghana fo nko na ya ye hon sa access o munyuma intua ho omusika enfam no no say ye de ye even foreign companies so sa say o mine needing at the international level Adentina omo fire fact all through this process so clearly no abaye ya abaya na odindada na odi yeden odi igbo mine
na bibi say kwasasem ni say parliament more oversight responsibilities e wo aban contract or sign money na mo ye sa mo ya adentina mo hu sa mo nyanso de na sa mo so be blame sa mo kan bi na ma ye duru be ye duru yo
ye wo oversight say or sign a contract bi aye international yes but ne hu say ye contract hu ejuma no he ni sa oversight wa sign contract na ewia ana wo be sign ya na wo de beba parliament say ye ma wo kwan say wo ne international institution na company ye den enko into a contract na ya ma wo kwan say kona koye ya check bibia ye hu say bibia da ho be say ba no say contract na mo sign ye no se sika bi eka ho a wo se wutua ma ho na say no eno de parliament nye den eni hu bibia say omo be till the issue become maybe known to us. No we say yebisa so adentina sa de ye den etisa, but that is the complaint the ambassadors and high commissioners are omo ewo ha no edeba enye no kra nka omo mfa emma
na wasema wo kan na mama adwuma me na kakra because we say Nancy finance minister be kan say they are handing over a strong economy to the new administration. Okan wie ye no owura Richard Ahiagba oil communication director adma MPP so can say economy a mumu jade ma wo no there was nothing to write home about na economy a enyenyenyenyenyenye no mu de mamu no a strong economy a so man to be gina so there so there it is only a strong economy na mamu there na dia wo kan kire say
economy a ye de ma MPP was an economy one 2 new oil fields 10 ene sankofa esosin Jubilee ye beto ye no na ye di jai won economy ye de Ghana gas air process yankasa afibia na ye de $300 million and more e de crack gas free amanoni sa Ghana gas project ye yenti amasa $300 million afibia ye de crack gas as at the time na ye wo pa no yensan ye den enkraga ehia kura se wo besisa wo di wo cedis ebe kwa akosisa dollars ansa na wa kwa akokra gas ye the stabilization fund ejai ma ho ye the heritage fund asika gum ede ma ho ye the den esla energy sector levy ye de ma ho ye the cocoa production rate of almost 1 million tons per annum ede ma ho. This is you are solving energy crisis. We had enough capacity, generation capacity. This is the type of economy the man MPP. MPP for a beja economy, cocoa production, less than almost to me crying 450,000 metric tons. And think Krofa Yakoji on the Sika last year. Senka ye di cocoa be ma hon this year no yentumi amfa cocoa be 250,000 metric tons amfa nko enti ayeka ayeda ho ochina His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na oba behwe so akwakutia akope cocoa edi akwakoma nkrofo ya gisike free omunsa already for 250,000 metric tons yentumi amfa cocoa no anko. That is the economy omodi then ejaye. Stabilization fund 0, heritage fund 0, sinking fund 0. Bibia any all these funds in the make us say here a banu economy nankasa inflation here bibia enam, here deficit here bibia enam, here unemployment rate bibia enam, unemployment rate of 8.4% and almost 15%. Deficit are just about 6% and number 15%. Inflation are below 15% and number 22%. Almost 54%. And aba debt to GDP are just about 55%. 104% and number 72%. A car just 120 billion cedis, and the number what almost 800 billion. Yemfa cocoa ekanokra mekan and the cocoa sector ekanokra bekan we will go over 1 trillion. We will pass that as debt yedi. Is this economy obeka say economy energy sector debt nkwa over $2.5 billion. Enye cedi so dollars na me bubwe. Just the energy sector yede IPPs yede IPPs nkwa 2.5 billion. That's a finance minister Bijina ho say you are handing over economy who sika we dia koma ban in the name of bonds krano. You see a do time I was say yitu amount you see yentumi ntu amount. Train in 2025, 2026, 2027, and so on. You bet you out. This is a type of economy who hand you over. Who are called Besia? Besia na wo boy area di sikana mawo. Sikano ye hu be ade a wo di sikana ya. Afedi e wuntumi ntua sikano. Wo ba oba be take over. Wo bibia no ono na oba be hwehwe siketi. That will say who hand you over a good efie e di ama wo ba no. Does it make any sense in this situation? So clearly they have messed up.
Say finance minister Uru no for Amina Adams enim sanya menyina na say sanet si ampadia ene e den e be pusu no na be ka say omogya mo solid economy a mo begina so de aye adwuma.
Well, say na edie na MPP enka omo e de kasa e na omo de ebu man omo mfa no kre. You see, the truth is like a cock. Who piano the enkra ebe den ebe. They have subjected us no more that we have kept the power on. Doom CC, this, that. Nina ene ye to abawi and say you no kreno. Ave the doom so all over. We are lucky that se unya kanye through continuously for 2 days. Now what da unya kupwase. Those times ECG any other institutions are also incomoding shishene by no na omoni aban aya baako omo dada say energy production no eba forma no mo ase da be announcement say oh yeah maintenance for this area and timubenya intermittent outages. Now so the normal intermittent because omuntumi nye den produce omu ye saa afedi enokore no apotronewu a yehu metintin energy sector debt nkwa e car edaho a wo say yitua de ma IPPs $2.5 billion.
Kofi asamu ye say wo kan say na nibrise mo say ye de ka kakraka ti sa de na so man no you better actually say no question sanity you better need to
well eno adwinje abeda ho and that is why Mampini can say elect say obese to anamo ako back to America na ihihie bi wo ho a yeni won share actually share from President Kufuor Abreso insisaya eba ye between from President Rawlings to President Kufuor no emaye akwenya bi ma America buying dividend bi ba ya mo my sa Millennium Challenge account compact no yenya ho mfaso kakra nti ye ya ma sika na edi kan ba ye no na ye de ye N1 ekwan no and a few other things NDC are buying na ye be supervise sa projects no osan say ye utilize compact ni ye nti America buying say na agency oh we are abofra na say ye di bibi hye wonsa na we ye ni ye a ye bebo wa bawdo na ya san di bia ye den abekam enti ye san so nya another opportunity ena 2016 ye call elections NDC ye ndi nkunim MPP aban ebe inherit sa de yi ti say the way Professor Mills and John Mahama by ebe inherit President Kufuor dia ye hwe no so yie a enunti yesanya bi beka ho no MPP aban ba omiani Akufo Adubai no na yenchendi nti saa sike ya eba no ena omuko fa PDS ho no ho proye ne kata hye ni bibia nsem bebre enti America aban ye na adwin se $190 million anka mede ba beboa mo ama mutumi atoto meters aye niama yi so that losses ekoso ewo that sector no eso beti aba down kura to acceptable level no omu disika no koye because of proyene katashije ene amene wo ka say ye power ye generate power from a generation point na ye toma ECG na ECG chairma ebedru wufie na wo use a sa power na ye no ECG cannot account for 32%. And not say only about 68% per ena yensaka. And it says sikano ye 100 CD by 32 CD no era. And only 68 CD per ena yetumi bu hun kunta. senka yamfa proye ne kata ahihye a MPP for inimiye amfa nko saa project na say yensa ka saa $190 million na nke beboa ma ya pija yen sector no with proper meters, proper cabling, any conductors ebeboa ma saa losses no den ebeba fam enunti na President Mahama, president elect ka say obese to saa namon ahwe say Ghana yen sabeka sa facility na ebeboa ma losses no ya teso from 32% to even below 10%. Ko abra na NDC wo no ye hu adwuma ema sa losses no eba ya ma eba even below 20%. Ye gusu a ye tu hu anamo ene MPP medi ade no ya pija ade na free that low level no to 32%. This is the economy type of economy a finance minister say omo hand over a better economy at their mind. Can this be better?
Officer, what can decide and say or so for no until was say a be on one cassa the fear not yet or to was on mine or demu and to be become any no cribiano, but so man was a shane mera between me the nafaso. Or can you no mumatina bemuda and to say being quay or bam abanfu from a munim side way and quay. Eka will see a day IPP in about 2.5 billion US dollars. Now more as minority in parliament, munim say bisa wo. Na munimu mutu wana mo bisa na mu ebe na de mamu.
Well, na yenim say eka ewo ho, but to this magnitude no na yenim because enye omumfa invoices emre. Enye parliament na ana MPs na yebekwa akoto this the oversight committee no up to the information now but over the years no say mutie pa yen ranking John Jinapo otaka ho asem bebre or waka ho asem bebre but because the MPP for share some sweet propaganda anti oka sometimes no na yen jindi say ni awoka no na eye no kure afede no kure no ye den ebededi. As for the finance minister no one make us asemi ewo parliament. So beka wo parliament hono de untumi meye propaganda ewo parliament. Okay. But abonti ho na onenam no enu de utumika efa no free. Enu bi na Dr. Baumia Koka say SS power na no mutua no mutua over 18 billion. Those times are Koka here. Ena Suhini MP for Tamale North file equations to ask the finance minister say omra meyiano about ahina Ghana ye tia for excess capacity oba ye no they far low figure than na Dr. Baumia edina menkai figure no clearly at this moment but they far low figure entisa because na finance minister no oba be equation na no parliament say parliament they mean to mean kon destroy because we destroy you can be that's perjury. You perjure and you can be jailed for that. So parliament here a platform ultimate concluding throw but so finance minister no share maybe in some for now could political platform be now or can asema that one you can only respond on a platform like this America say with evidence. So this is an economy yintumi nkrofosika nkokora ne mrewa kora ekoye demonstration saade yi wati bida say nkokora ene mrewa be demonstration na finance ministry say yensika moje ye no mumfa maye a former chief justice cry then ekoka wo ho kora yes a demonstration saade yi wati bida ni nyina esi in this government now mu we have say mo be economy papa e wo himfa well bia metumi aka ne say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President-elect, is determined and focused. Onim, say we are in the abyss. Now so, or say ye BB because ye ni BB beyond Ghana. Na ye ntumi yi ye hu emfiri ho. Enunti na wa say oral operation recover all loot no. Ade ba ko a wo say ye hwe na ye hu adwuma. Because Omain yentumi medica almost 8 billion. Abra ye ni bibia ye de yensa betwre. bibia dia ye ni na yenchendi proye hwe airport ye di $250 million ena ye di see terminal 3 ni nyina $250 million ena ye di see na Dr. Baumia ni MPP aban mutumi kokoye e-gate say waba passenger waba befa airport no ubi pia na wo de wonsa ana wo passport ACBB so na ebie keke gate keke no a ebie no you say $147 million na airport na kasa no ahina ekosi $250 million
sa issue ye no ye discuss ye free immigration service empanyfo no mu di nkomo wo phone so wo ye news mu na ema wo mu kire mu say sika wo mu na kasa is about $94 million na sa airport jumedi no mu die no ye jumedi awodo bebre no ma kan bom ena omo ya cost $94 million
benia juma bebre a omo se omo aka bom na ni die
na e-gate no sika omo say ye ene e-gate no component ni nyina no or say official GI Ghana immigration service statements clarifies that in total the immigration control system and e-gate at KIA cost $5.5 million.
Me di omo documents ne be forward ya brew company a omo di proposal na omo di kan de call ye kura no na ne nyina ye cost $269 million and afi Ministry of Finance mpinifo no raise issue no and omo hwe say ade no enko yie no and they brought it down to about this $147 million make kan wa say bet ansa na ye be pon no Member on account the documents now echo through various processes, including the sensitivity test. Yes, subject sa enyamanu too. Now we be who no clear say immigration for no pese ombeka no clear.
But we say person ombeka no clear. A serious allegation na we yes and say sikano aye to that be a 200 and something $148 million na say immigration officer ebe can say $94 million na enye intro no odi a kire yen say onim say betu da call home wo bro no anim say enya say anete
na minia intro bebre a aben any omo collaborators e di o man no easier tie Yakwa kutia $11.9 million in the name of Pualugu Multipurpose Dam. Information no ba abontinu. One institution menkaye omudi statement eba abontin say $11.9 million in sikane binu yeditua feasibility studies.
Yeah.
Omoju say ye nyansa ni ye team. Look, feasibility dia ya ye da ewie Dr. Kotoa Free ebe ka ho asem kra feasibility no John Dramani Mahama Breso na ye kohwehwe sika UNDP funding de ma VRA for say sa intentions na your first president Dr. Kwame Nkrumah enya ye say o say ye Pualugu dam no yen ko yen hwehwem na yen hwe say doable say ye doable like kwambe na ye betumi aye modernizing. And it was in 2013 and sa commencement of feasibility there in early 2018 and no emma the design of the multipurpose dam because when you feasibility untumi then designs and cost award the contract and kati sold so $11.9 million were payments that were done to the company the contract na then amano say ono na onkonko ye djuma no so he has nothing to do with feasibility that's what be dada say feasibility no mo ye in that same statement no omo sa dada say omo esisi adan e wo ho omo aye access routes uko ho access road bia ni ho e tractor kwan wo de salon ka ko ho untumi mfa sa akwa na so omo se omo aye access routes omo esisi adan say adan no adan a e wo ho a na ayira e wo ho a na epie eyi nkohia dan na appear na ayera dia ene meaning because ye call ho no ye hu dan bia ye wo ho ye hu bibia e kire say obi aye site kura site ne kire say contractor at a site or ye juma na so ye the 11.9 million dollars e di akoma ho they issued statement to that effect. And then so the fact say why issue statement about a figure no doesn't mean that is the truth. Luckily mensaka documentation anything mechiche amount now later in your
ye benya akra sisi akra na ka ye ato TV no so kakra ye defan bi beto so na ka ye hwefo tumi ahwe nti bra wo hwehwe no what can be about koko sika ya kwakoji be kan koko no they say sika ya kwakoji na say the ba 400 and something million tons of cocoa na say echo he say near the mu yentumi anya ye about 200 million tons na echo enti say sika 250 million tons sika na no ewo he mu ne bebi ewo
well let's say ade no ye obibi a ye ka no forward sales eno na cocoa board enti ansa na maybe afino kura beba no na omu edika akwa sika efri ebinum ho say oh medical cocoa say bebrew enti mami sika na waji sika no afi de edu time awo say odi cocoa no kono we nya enough a odi bekọ akoma omu a waji sika efri omuhore eti say ni omu de ye Ghana haya similar to domestic debt exchange na bia ni bi say nkrofo de omu sika ba say fa sika mame na edu time say ya obeba beji wo sika with interest say e wo so afi de edu time a o say me beji mi sika ni mi interest no say o no interest no kra de mintumi mfa bi ma wo na wankasa kra wo sika na ankasa kra wo de bre me kra no eno so enye ready wo pedi a o say meti so na mama wo kakra but wo pe ni nyina de plus some small interest ya o say me san ye nhihye foforo e de ma wo so that ebeko say maybe wo de ne 5 years afi de o say ye no 10 years and 10 years na ye no so infa so a wo say wonya no kra no ebe sa ba ye kitwe bi ye didi ye wa ha enu bi na ye didi omu so omu ton koko enti afi di a omu ye omu adwun say omu san akọ sike fi omu e na nkofo no say da bi ye de ye ntumi ma mo abeje afi dada de bo ntumi amfa 250,000 metric tons amma na mo san abeje fufu bi ma ye ntumi mfa sika ni bi ma mo bi e na omu dwane ba back say oh afedi ye nkoji ye forward sales biom ye nkoji sika bia syndicated loan bia no ye nkonkoji ya ye bepe sika efri omeyimu e di ato ye nkuku we huni ya ekoso afi smuggling level of smuggling ya ekoso because na sika bia ni ho a omu betua nkofo de omu kuku kwa na sika ni ho so na smuggling nkofo free buyers efri Togo ni other places na omu wura Ghana no mo abe tokoko no e wa no mo de ko enu na akoso ama se a ya tokoko no kra wie no afi no mo nya sika kakra bia na mo ya announcement say sika ni bia basika mi wa koko no bebre na akọ that is the type of economy a MPP and they say yensa
Kofi GDA ni ho
well GDA e wo ho ne say Ghana for 8 years after going through a lot of challenges in yakwakoto abapa and I have every confidence in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say obeye nia o say oye obeku itia proye ne katasihye obeye investments in the appropriate areas ebeboa ama yenya infasuo kese ewo ye oman yen cocoa production ye be peja ye be kwetia galamsey activities because galamsey aba be say yen cocoa nsase eni kwaye bebre ni yen hwuo no so no sa products of galamsey aye gold na nkasa so emfa emrakwan so enti oman no enya gold no so ho mfaso gold na kasa so a efri galamsey no na ya smuggle e di akọ amanoni afesu cocoa na nka ye benya ho mfaso no so no cocoa no so afe de cocoa no yentumi ye den en produce cocoa no so enough enti cocoa efri yensa gold no so a yenya from galamsey no so yemfa mrakwan so emma oman no kura benya ho mfaso so laws here laws there na ya san say ye issue so aye den aka ho na ya san say ye issue so aka ho so that is the terrible situation that we find ourselves in so contract information na American media say no will produce and me sure say in saka obetumi
obe project gate no ho asem
yeah
and na opeye ne ononyamfo Kofi Idi Adams na yedi nkono no yebo mrahye na ne yedi nkomo ebo Mpu Ne Mpu na nema bebre so so mrahye bedwam nyina ya hwe TV so ene yate ho ensem tie beko ho na no so yakodi nkomo bi sesa majority minority no ho nsem no akokosi san na eden na yenhwe kwan ewo the 9th parliament ebe omoye overwhelming majority no eno se behwe na yedi ho nkomo na ansa na be misa wasem ba kwansa na yeko wonya ne tie se waye kofo so yedi omoka enu ntino wo mutumi release results wo ye teacher ni awachira de ewusuku amekondo mani je ho ame find ni agrokora
worrying situation pa
wo hunu de so bia ye teacher ni no wo se sa social ya MIA no students no ombatin kasa how they affect your university enrollment
exactly say because ye social because enu na ebema wa kwenya ma wetumi aye den akọ the next level ebi okra wa ye na adwin say or terminate ewo ha enti obehia sa results ne certificate no e di akwakoye ni opese oye bi o maybe opese akwakoye security ejuma that is the basic qualification at this time na aban ne ka odi waye kinti waye phone to me ye then mark scripts no especially almost say the objectives na machine na we say omo mark objectives in machine na say na aban so ntua enye say just for this exam so we do on kasa bebre for a very long time sika kese pa na nyina ka hunti kura na meme tetikura say waye on person omuyi omu headquarters no kura free Ghana ha e dey call baby foforo because of nya MPP abayenti all past governments aye bibia to protect this enviable position say waye headquarters no e wo Ghana ha na MPP abayen ko omu bae omu de ano e dey dada say o education omu be ye education ye omu ye say omu ye robotics omu ye say afedie waye ka omu be ye an examination na omu tumi a certify wo no kura no wodi hon ka enu kura ntinu omu ye omu ajun kura say omu be yi headquarters because they cannot be here abra wodi hon ka omu tumi run omu ejuma effectively so he's worrying Wayek is going ahead very soon say omu be release private schools omu resource na so public school MPP aban omu subanti intumi ye then and release omu resource ebeka universities because universities ni be here resource no to confirm mo admissions because bibili now omu to top forms no ya omu di shisha ono say awaiting results and this results and maya the universities cannot make a determination say wo na yeju na wo ye nje you so yeju for this course maybe you beju for fee paying or non fee paying because based on your performance all these decisions have been stalled. Meanwhile, universities no so your calendar thinking say you are buying or you responsible. No, muso. You see, academia so kahubio. Because those times they say academia ye bibia or mine a hodie omutumi chro omutumi ka omu akuma hunsem nia ehia nia eha wonu omuka. We don't suppress them. That's why under MPP, you to me suppress academia to the extent say we call universities academic freedom krano ebi ni ho. One hwe ni na say we call ka bibia na ye tata o. Ya dani ye ho propaganda for government. We hu ni aye koso sese. Bibia na ka yenim say e die ye ka say obi a lecturer. Those times, hey, Kobna ye call university and I ndu hokra ye can say will be a lecturer. Now when him say yes, even under President Rawlings's time na ye enye the constitutional dispensation kura na a lectures kura no mu ma lectures o mu kasa ene a nka yama constitutional era kura no afi de academic persons anka o se o mu no mu kasa ma o man no ebegina ye no o mu adane o mu ho propaganda unit kakra na o mu ka no na ya sheda afemi niama against them. She said the university lecturers no more than propaganda unit. Lecturers for free SHS, lecturers for this. Meanwhile, adia ebema yaji students no ewo mo level no aban no nyeye. Namu ni nam say mo form lecturers association, lecturers for free SHS. Lecturers for free SHS na free SHS akocho so hia. Waye ka o say o mo mark ansa na ya admit students no e dia bremo ewo mo universities ni yentumi nye. What's now? When Nuguasia sa suban no e di abreye.
Na say when you sector minister near MP. Mo tia no mo friend me say what is going on. What friend me say no be say na say no kan.
The sector minister ya we dichum.
Yes.
Or the committee education committee. On fa committee ni nya hwe.
Really?
O mo friend na onko. The committee members have complained a number of times. At least, Omutumika Momuka Kura say, oh, Abrana former minister Napo Hono dear, Onuna or tired then related. But this current one, he's just working on his own. He's just working on his own, doing his own thing. On fact committee no nyehwe. And that explains why sometimes the ranking or Honorable Nuchu or who now wa issue statement and now wa be statement on the floor of the house. Now we obey statement efa sa wa ye ka semi ya and sana e be public issue of discussions no yen ranking oye NDC MP oye ranking for sa wa be statement on the floor raising concerns. So mo be kaya this same non-payment of wayeki say ye kaya emo mo be ye hustle propaganda statement enye no kre na ntisa na park no mu the deputy ranking na mo twantro and so on and so forth eno na be this is the type of education, this is the type of economy finance minister say or hand over a good economy to the next administration. Economy are yet to mean to for WAEC. Economy are yet to mean to for WAEC.
Anyway, yamra na sebe Germany ahwe. Na say mo ya minority, mo ya majority. Yes mo di asa wada ba kokra mo di asa na mo sana mo ato santin say kwalabiri mo ato wanchire na ye no. Mo koba ya afi yete ye majority, mo ya minority, we ya majority, mo ya minority. Ko court e be ye na ja mutu share da afi mo ko na nsan a mo afiri majority akokotena minority. Ade na mo ya ye wi kasa mo ya nya atwom.
Oh there be enye nya atwom. Parliament say minority majority ni nyina no if seats are wo na e be kire say we majority ana kai say this if parliament ye to abawie ye no na MPP kura 137 NDC kura 137 and you be a majority equal numbers ena yen standing orders nimu bibia ni ho say emma kwan say an independent member of parliament no be kwa akoka one side ho ye to abama was independent we are independent and Mr. Speaker relying on the standing orders say adie bia yen standing orders no anyen hihia ma no ono Mr. Speaker ewo ho kwan say obema direction as to how I be resolve this problem. And here Speaker Bagdi and obeka say well nansaka kata every independent member of parliament for Mina say oh opese oye juma with the MPP side inti ono efres aside and say majority group one friend will say majority caucus or say majority group because on to me friend one caucus well independent member no on to me nkoka omo ho our mobile caucus. So at that time in 2021, Speaker Bagby ne ruling now the by was that we now have a majority group. And now offer say yeah group we are a caucus because just NDC and offer yes we say as minority group and or introduce a new coinage into the parliamentary balance. You get to make the Jumasa. So say in the MPP before sorry say we are majority with what? The MPP is not majority in Ghana's if parliament. But just say yeah you say yen challenge speaker ne ruling at that time it jaima ekaho because we thought that well we needed to have that kind of arrangement. Ye wo na near etu Honorable Andrew Siama oye MP for Formina 6 years independent. Ye ni free parliament no in the 7th parliament no SBC bium. Eno ne dien say obi a ya to abama no waba parliament in the name of a political party and now as independent and afedie ye go into 2024 elections for the 9th parliament ne position in the situation as nipa no buy in the name of a party afedie or call as independent and now nipa no buy as independent member of parliament afedie or call a party dim and another speaker relying on precedent and also elaborating more emma ne communication says Sankrofono can no longer call themselves as members of what? Parliament because of what had happened. So they can no longer call themselves as such. So based on speaker, the communication to the house, now you will say these four and to me may mrasebe for Biuma. Baako ye NDC ni enti yebeti one every NDC yen di nba be 136. Mienu eye MPP for enti yebeti mienu every MPP side omeba be also 136. No, omeba be 135. Ena yebesa te independent so dia nanka oka omo so no so ye ni free a enti omobeka 134. Na ye yabe 136. So by that no we are the majority in terms of the count based on speaker and communication, relying on Speaker Bagby, any Speaker Michael Kwe or more decisions or more take it. And obviously, maintain me once until Obeko Court. Oko Court, no, yes, the Supreme Court gave some indication, say, some processes no stay, but Supreme Court don't just order Parliament to act or say Parliament nankasa so ye processes. That was our understanding. So we insisted, say, at the ABA AC or Supreme Court, no, yen members of Parliament, no, yen party to that process. And you BBR when our process, no, onfa yen service speaker, not speaker, yen then on communicating chair. Na yen kasa as Parliament, no, yen take decision. It was on this basis, and na ama yen yegusua na yetina as a majority side because we have 136 members of parliament and the MPP had 134 based on the losses now after the indication of Mr. No, Omuye 135 based on the losses now asafa based on speaker and communication. Ya say Omuye 135. So Omuye majority. Well, you see, speaker so if your environment, you know, he has to adjust sinedie. And I yede call about one. Yakwa koto abewie. Ye ba ye no in the spirit of goodwill. Ghana for edi achre no. Eno ena ye ba fi ye ba back na. You see well. Ayede Ghana for ankasa enhu who the real majority is and who the Osunun Kitinkiti is. And to say a campaign on Nkukobu Kitinkiti, say ade yehu ni aoye Kitinkiti ankasa. Enti omun konkotena baby a ompese omutina ye betina ama omaine juma no akoso. So that's why we did what we did for the sake of money because workers akitua wo was saying finance minister adding votes in advance of appropriation beba ama ya jatum so that in January, February, ni March akitiano ebeba any other essential services I say ni now say so the NDC have always been an understanding political party. We here 2021 na finance minister na nkasa no nyamma ya ebe say ye gitumma chairman sabus present your budget and we passed it. Every single appointee nominee bia mampeni and another danko Akufo-Addo de ba went through the process of vetting and we passed them. A few we subjected them to vote. Na vote no krano there were people from our side omotuma and they all passed. Say yempesa yebeboa MPP amomo ahwe oman so a say nka ye yes ade nyina but where the thing must be done right, it must be done. And unti enania isi no isi but after general elections, we felt say, well, in here, and Emma and
they say we were overwhelming majority our parliament. Yeah. I didn't gonna function going through more.
Well, clearly, no.
A rubber stamp, yeah, Namoko.
Well, any in Edikaya NDC, any such overwhelming majority in parliament in terms of percentages. So Obekaya, the first parliament, 93 to 97, the MPP boycotted. Well, boycotted, but there was still parliament. Yeah. I'm a NDC 189. At that time, no, yeah, we hear Obeka say when you two tests, 133, 134. And so now you cry 189. Even no mukra or muni parliament cry na yitio mwasem. And no nema value added tax. Bill na eba in 1995 no ye then ye suspended until 1998 and yes then edibuy. So the NDC have always been very responsible. Yen overwhelming majority no enya dia ye de ba be say oman no ana ye de ba be ye rubber stamp it say nya MPP for ye 169 eye under speaker Michael Queen in another than Akufo-Addo. So that time no and omode jeji loans by heart edi omai no ko share situation ni ma afedie yentumi yiye ho emfiri. That was how they did it. But yendie you be very responsible, very responsible with our numbers. Yengina as Ghanaians any yankopon nankasa kura nim say MPP ababa be say economy no any nyama bebre so na nyamim pese John Mahama buying Benya unnecessary distractions ewo parliament. So or that type of support, the man from parliament say at the papa bia or the bebano ye the adwimpa beka ho ama ya ye den ayejuma. So Ghana for year assured more mohwem ni say ye the sa majority no ye the beye ejuma responsibly. The electoral commission anamutu a mutu eye anamutu a enimra mrabia ni ho a eta omwichi say wo beye recollation say wo beye den sa de no Mensa any bossman asare being aided by any other commissioners no omonhwe yi already no mo obi aka say mo as commissioners no mo anya adwuma yi na mo sa say mo ho even more. In 2020, yet to about year in 2021, NDC raised the issue of Techiman Safin. And then Mensa ni omo commissioners kai. Almost say once a year declaration, it should be a court. In the same commission, if you say Article 99, 1 and 2, no any hobby of the Constitution. Because we had then become aware. Say results declaration sheets now and agents Ekurano was different from what was used in collating the results. You see the result declaration sheets are and agents from the various polling stations a year collation now your candidate would have been declared as the candidate that was validly elected. Here is those issues. Almost say oh collation who any issue be a court. So we took the matter to court. Unfortunately, the ruling of the court say once the Electoral Commission produced some results declaration sheets and is different from what you were given as an agent, they will rely on only what the Electoral Commission had. And even though out of the omo chro no and a carbon copy no and omo de mouse. So your copy any omo de no ko say eyepe. Na so nya ekoba ya say wo copy na omo de amount no different from the ana omo ekura ho. So we allowed it to stay. Ene ya declare results ewie no electoral commission say me year regulation. Meanwhile one kasa won hihye look constitution no article 51 my electoral commission ekwan say fan hihye bi fa parliament na ekoda parliament for 21 sitting there beba be ye mra wo de be hwe abato no so Jimensa na nkasa na odi san hihye yi baaye ne nsa na ehye ase na parliament etena ase for 21 days ma ebe ye mra nowhere in san hihye na wo de baaye na bibi wo mu about regulation. There's no regulation. Nowhere bibi wo mu say returning officer declaration who either regional director of EC and a national chairperson of EC and a commissioners of EC betumi atena ka say declaration e dey engine tum na ye beji atum some right no ye dey share court say any question that will arise yemfanko high court na high court in then enka ho asem. That is what the law says clearly. Now so ene Jimensa constituting into a court. Ono na all determine say this declaration no mediatum, this declaration mini pay no under duress, one year no under free atmosphere. A declaration na nipa na ye ama candidates, opposing candidate, candidates are omokran edi nkugo kra no assign declaration. Woko obuasi is for example nipa na ogina homa MPP ni or city member of parliament. Ye declaration wie ye no or sign ye say wajia to say resource na ye quality ye no was the true reflection of what happened in the constituency. Now with the mensa whole thing can has say the returning officer did the declaration under duress. How did you know duress? What were the ingredients of duress? Court ben na ye prove is duress. So clearly they are involved in criminality. They cannot engage in such acting. So we say we seats edema MPP because maybe MPP na edi wana ko honti. So MPP edi nkugu ewo elections. Omuntumi anye bibia ambo hon ewo presidential level and ye ma ye bibi mbo hon ewo parliamentary level. Na ye wia abane bi emfam hon. Or kasu bi o say omo solve 3 of the constituencies from the eastern region. Obubodia, it includes Fantia Kwanof. Fantia Kwanof, one kasa returning officer. Edi Kain, aye declaration, Ediama, the NDC candidate, Ewo Begro, within the Fantia Kwa North constituency. Now, wako frere, ubi say, no, ye deputy returning officer. And your returning officer, nipa no say, or ye deputy. Now, wako frere no say, onumbra, tesano, munche haya, police depot. Now ono ye deputy a ye nim no ono oma be ye regulation. Now ono declare obi foforo in the absence of the agents of the other political party and other candidates are already declared. Now we say eno na ye papa. Enye jimisema na enye disi.
Eti eno sa de na mo be dia fa se mo be gina so dia bibi ana so mo ye den.
Well, ye nim ni say CI 127 any article 99 1 and 2 echere ekwanya yefa so resolve constituency parliamentary elections issue be back. Fantia Akwa North has been declared for the NDC parliamentary candidate as having been validly elected. Tema Central ya declare Ediama Ebi Bright the NDC parliamentary candidate as having been validly elected. Ablekuma North ya declare Ukaikwe Central ya declare. Domekwa Benya ya declare. Obuasi East ya declare. All these places are ya declare ama yen candidates. The only avenue available for a contest in any high court. Enti ni Jimensa yen enyadi a yebeji atum.
On the 7th say mo swear in na mo parliamentarians na mo declare on na beba na say
well enye yen na ye declare won. Electoral Commission returning officers.
It's a for the Parliament.
Of course, the mention who say Emra wo ho. Who name na say who koye bibia. You see, you don't make yourself a candidate and akwa to say one poison kakra you say you say one poison maybe poison no be to me ekum and maybe a man with drobia you could survive now I feel the why you say because you can say one poison tea and your mammy poison no more na me wu preko ana ma me fight you embo me ho na me kum me ho preko because you can say man poison we di boni bebre e fa no say ohwe abato ho nsem from 2020 e de bepem na anu die yi ayekoe boni die wa ye bebre but ma on fa enye boni no more because why ye boni ya ka ho asem ebisi maybe yen twa waba ebisi yen yema yen petition ma yen yiwu free honti okay have de me nkofo a mo de me ba ye no me hu se o mu di nkugu dodo nti ma me ye bibi mfa mbo ho. She must not go on that journey. She must not go on that tangent because yen in NDC will resist that. I believe say the IGP Dr. Akufu Dampari Tiemia, he must not provide any security to Electoral Commission to perpetuate illegality. Say yekase yekwa ko cheki afo ano north tepade a yenim say yenye declaration bia ewo ho enti eno ye ho adwuma fine yenim say nsawo madu ejiri yenye declaration enti ene so mo court on the issue na NDC ye dia court no mi court no beka no so mo betumi akoye collation ewo ho na mo aye declaration na fine they can provide security for that but seats ye declaration ewie Dr. Akufu Dampare, you are the chair of the National Security Task Force. Don't provide any security whatsoever to Jimensa and any commissioners to perpetuate an illegality. Unimra, Katseon Nyamraka about declaration and challenges to declaration. Say ye dureso. Say young quality results ni now. Say young follow near regulation 43 of CI 127 air cow. Ni now nsema wo say yekoka no di wo himfa high court. Enye mensa nakachi na wo say yekasa asem. So yen kanche no. Okay. And the IGP Dampare you should refuse to be lured into any illegality. Why Jumanu to a large extent creditably okay in terms of providing security generally for these elections. Memma Jimensa ne partisanship any boss masare no mo enchongo enko emawo nkonko ye bibia ebe say so far this record in these elections say largely no do persons be aboni pa bi 2 a we kunkumon be nipa about 6 have lost their lives out of these elections but it is synonymous to MPP any Akufo-Addo ne elections wahwe so 2020 nipa 8 2024 nipa 6 he doesn't take human life for anything but my bibi and say
all right honorable Kofi Edi Adams buamrase bedwe no na no pe oba me Mpu Ne Mpu kakra e de fan san ba ko menu mienso binum sense ma wo kan no bripamu so no yesi asoye no ye bomode ase be ko na so ya na mo man ye kwan so betumi ne ye di nkomo na so kwan bia so no press conference no ye no nsem bebre piepie fimu na ye be do suko bio na ya hwese before the election and somehow do NDC as a political party e kan ye consensus mu rezi ye from bra ye twire din edin twire no IPAC meeting hu samsam IT wo mo BVD BVR hu yira samsam bepin bra ye beto ababato no wa beto abato na wie ye enne san na bre mu sam ekokọ ba ni nyina no anu se bibia se yedi hu komo esan so mo resist so many concerns about yisi press conference and now wo mo ye no ntino enche mene Dr. Tanko Rashid computer so be din komo na no na owo ho enti no wono de be wo bia no ye ne be di hu komo na ya hwe ni na so ansa na no me mam fasida ema onunyafo Kofi Adams so nya abre aba tu fia wo parliament ano no
me fia me ko parliament be ma me fa akwenya enwu ise me ba obaya a happy birthday and she's turned 17 years and may she grow to become a great person in this country.
Right.
I wish her very well.
All right. Oba ya nti papa se men kancho se o ma wontiri nkwa e ma wo da pa bibia wo bi nyakopon enhyirenti ona bu kofi adam se beda ase ko chi chem na shebedwafo ni nyina minority ni majority ni nyina echi obi ani speaker nyina ye chia no enti atwa ho aba ye ba ye ni Dr. Tanko Rashid computer so ebe sambo Mpu Ne Mpu round 2 mo twa ye be sisi ai